Hey, 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 here we are again. We are on episode, I don't know, 20 something Annie. This is amazing, this journey that we're taking together with the Annie and Mindy show. I'm Mindy Stern, and I'm talking to you live from Israel.
And I'm Annie Callis, and I'm talking to you from Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah. Today we've got a hot issue, hot, steamy.
Yes. So up to now, we were in La La Land, and we took lots of fun, and we had, dancing and all of that, and we're talking. But you know what? I think it'd be great for you guys to see that just like you, there's people like us that we have bad days too, like really bad days.
No shit.
No shit. So how do we deal with those situations? So I would love to share with you guys that, there's processes that I do, that I go through, and I think Mindy does too, so she'll share her bit after. But you know what? We have bad days and we don't have the answers. And forgive me if I talk for you too, Mindy.
Please
but
do.
I probably agree. You and I are so similar, even to the point that we dressed the same. The other day we had the same outfit. Oh my God. Even the hair and the glasses, that was just hilarious, beyond hilarious. So if you want to know, have a look on both of our timelines, because it's just too funny. Right? But the thing is that I, for one, have had a couple of very difficult days, and there has been a lot of crying and a lot of just being on my own and figuring out what are the emotions that are coming up for me. So this is not a doom and gloom session, by the way.
Yeah.
But the great thing is that as a human being, one of the biggest lessons that I have learned in my entire life is personal responsibility. And personal responsibility more so for my emotions, because I create them inside of me. So somebody does something, I react, then I'm angry with them. Then I try to figure out, why am I angry? Why am I hurt? Why am I taking it personally? To figure out in the end that, they have their opinion and they have every right to be. That doesn't mean it's in line with mine. So my role is to go away and work on it, on myself, what's coming up for me. Yeah? What do you think?
Yeah, I
So
think that is the issue. But I hear an echo. Why do I hear an echo? Did you
I
hear
don't
an
know.
echo also?
No?
I'm just gonna get something here. Shit happens. Life is a matter of ups and downs all the time, because we reach new things. We have values and expectations, and people don't meet our values and expectations, not necessarily because they're bad, just because they have different values and expectations. And there's also a communication issue, and life just seems to happen, and we need to keep moving forward. So yeah, absolutely, Annie, I agree with you. There's times where you get into this frustration or emotion comes up, and you have to learn in this new situation today how you as a person are going to deal with it. How do you keep going forward? And sometimes it's hard to go forward because actually of you, because you're dealing with your emotion, your reaction, your frustration, and you're stopping yourself from going forward. Or me, I'm also having a very difficult few weeks, and it's not even Corona. It has even nothing to do with Corona. Corona is just like on top of all the shit.
Let's drink to that.
Yeah, l'chaim, the life. But I want to, you talk about techniques and strategies.
Give me some.
That you use, or I use, to get over it. And the things that you said, I have some affirmations here. These are, you and I both went to Quantum Leap. Yeah, we're Quantum Leapers from Success Resources. We've done T. Harv Eckert's Quantum Leap programs. Yes. So I've got all my affirmations from the programs, and I use them a lot. Now I'm not going to read all of them, but there are some really important affirmations that I use for me from the things that you said now are so appropriate for what you said. And I share them a lot with clients because they come to the same frustrations more about relationships with other people, frustrations because someone has disappointed them or not taken responsibility, and how do we move on? So
which one do you have? Because I only
I'm going to
have.
look at in Warrior Camp. It's called The Ways of the Warrior, Attitudes, the Ways of the Warrior. So listen to this one.
I don't have that one.
I don't have to please everybody. I don't take anything personally. I understand that how others judge me is about them. And this one is the best. I look them in the eye. I tell them who I am. And if they don't like it, then
they can.
Attitudes of the Warrior. Attitudes of the Warrior. And I think that those last ones there, when it's talking about your interaction with other people, how people could disappoint you in the end. But, what they say and what they do has nothing to do with you, and how you react has nothing to do with them. So the only thing we can do is we can work on ourselves. I'm also working through an issue that I can't wait to speak with one of my coaches next week. And it's even too far away. I wish it was tomorrow that I was speaking to her, but she's so busy. To work on it, because it's something that comes up again and again and again, and it's frustrating. And I want to be better. I want to get over it. I want to take responsibility so that I don't feel the way that I'm feeling now for the rest of my life.
Yep.
I want to do reframing, change the perspective, clear some shit out so that, these things don't bother me. I can go on until the next thing, something's always going to come up.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Every time you win, you go, yay, and then something else shows up. It's like, can you give me a break just so I can swim in the glory of this breakthrough? Give me some time. Don't just give me another one straight away. I mean, come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? If you work on yourself, Annie, my impression is that when things hit you, more so as you're working on yourself, they don't go as deep and they don't take as long to recover from. Things happen, shit happens. But when you work on yourself and you have the skills and the tools and you become, I'm not going to call it enlightened, but you become enlightened, and then it's easier. So shit can happen. You can't see the obstacle as the way because you know that you're going to get through it. But sometimes you get to a core issue. Like right now, I'm in a core, really deep issue that you need help. The skills that we learn every day are not enough. You need someone's perspective.
Yeah. I think the thing for me is, I think what's upsetting me is that the other parties are not taking responsibility, and it's all done behind me, and I just so happen to find out. So that feeling of just tell me in my face, and they're not telling me in my face because they don't want to hurt me, but it's hurting more this way. So I think it's so important to be able to communicate effectively, to sit back and say, okay, what she did had an effect on me, but I want her to grow from it. So I'm just going to go and share with her how I felt and stuff like that, because I guess if they don't know me after so many years, they pretty much, I'm an open book. So I think the upset for me comes from finding out that somebody spoke about me, and it's a shock because it's the last group of people that I expected. So there's acceptance there. Like, I accepted it is what it is, but I'm spiking. I go up and I go down. And the reason is why I'm sharing this, and this is like really being vulnerable here on a show that it's supposed to uplift people. But I think life is not always up. We have downs. And the other day I did a video on a live video on Facebook talking about giving myself permission to be, to disconnect, to cry. And there were a lot of people that said, I don't know what to, I had the same thing. They had a big cry on the same, unless the moon was in some other hemisphere or something, right? But a lot of people were feeling emotions. So it was really nice to see. And somebody said to me, it's so good to see that you're not always up, you know? And I just went, wow. You know, and you know, like people see me with makeup, without makeup, you know. At the moment I've got this rash on my eyes. It's so painful. It's red and really painful, and tomorrow I have a photo shoot. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know how to cover, you can cover that, but oh my god, it's painful.
Wow.
Anyways, once I do my fringe, you can't see.
No, but I want to see your beautiful eyes.
Yeah, well, we will have to, but hopefully I might go to bed a bit earlier tonight and have a good sleep, and hopefully it will settle. And I'm stressing because people say, oh, your eyes are your path to your soul. What aren't you seeing? And I'm like, oh my God, what ain't I seeing right now? Come on, is it because I want to be able to see it so I don't have the red eyes, right? Anyway, but responsibility, it's like, it's one of my values. And one of the things that I learned is to be fully responsible. So to me, it's like, based on what I heard, I could see how they saw it that way. And I go, I shouldn't do it like that again. But at the same time, I go, hang on, there's another side to this. So there's always two sides to everything, right? So I'm sitting there going, what is going on the other side? So clearly there was some type of expectations on the other side that I didn't fulfill on, but I went in there with just being completely neutral. I didn't go in with expectation. I didn't go in with this, with that, with the other. So all of a sudden I'm left, I feel like I'm carrying the brunt of all the situation. I'm going, everybody should have their percentage.
Yeah.
If you want to be there, you should have said so. I didn't have to do it. I just did it out of because I learned something and I wanted to share with you. I didn't have to do it on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how things happen. But what I do know is that I'm going to get a great lesson out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of that I want to share with people. When something really painful happens, if you do whatever process you need to do to get through it, you will learn something amazing at the end, and you are going to become a better person. I'm going to become better in this. I'm going to have to make some choices for myself, and I'm just going to have to live with those choices. But the good thing is that I'm sitting there going, and it's actually, in some ways, as annoying as it is, it's also like, okay. I'm so curious to find out the lesson. And it will come. I know it will come. Again, whether it's my decision or it's something that somebody's going to say that's going to make sense.
Yeah.
That it's going to turn that around for me and go, oh, all right, then I'm good. Because I don't like being in the victim mode.
Yeah, no, that's not a good place to be.
Right?
So it's just really mostly an issue of communication, because we're different people. We don't have any idea what's going on in someone else's mind, and they have no idea what's going on in our mind. And that just, I do it a lot with clients. You just mirror it. When you mirror it, then people say, oh my gosh, yeah, that's what did happen, or see it with an objective point of view. Because I like to go in this world with a belief where my mother says I bury my head in the sand. But I believe that people want the best for everybody. And when they do something or they say something, it's really with a good intention. And if they hurt you, it's not to intentionally hurt you, at least most of the people, So so all automatically, it takes it from the perspective of a bad or victim to, something happened here. And if I want to take responsibility, I want to know what happens, because I don't want to do that, because this person is important to me, or that person is important to me, or I like the situation. I didn't mean to do it. and let's talk about it. What happened for you and what happened for me, and put it out there. And like you said, not necessarily are you going to resolve it because it's someone else's feelings that they have to resolve for themselves, or your feelings that you have to resolve for yourself. But at least it's an open communication then where you can make a decision that's best. It's not like a one-sided, okay, I'm going to cut myself off type of thing. But okay, how does this fit in my life? Is this something that supports me? Is this something that hurts me? Is this something that recurring that doesn't solve, or is this something that, you know, we can grow together or maybe grow apart? But it gives you a better place to make a decision from a place of responsibility, not a place from victim. You know, I've had a couple of instances in the last month with people that I work with very closely on our team, our international team, where I did some things that hurt other people. And I was so shocked because you know me, they don't know me also. Definitely, I have no intention of hurting anybody or stepping on anybody's toes. All I want to do is help. And it turned out that my help, how I perceive it as helping, was actually hurtful to someone else. So I was so shocked. But I took responsibility. I said, okay, how did I didn't take responsibility for hurting them, but I took responsibility to say, okay, what's going on? What's happening in our relationship? What came up for you? Let you know my intention. I'll know how you felt about it. And let's see if we can clear the air. Because, wow, I really hurt someone. 2 people. That happened 2 times. And like you say, you know, the moon, where's the moon now? In the sky, you know, that's going on. It's creating all this weird type of energy. And yeah, it's everything happening. People are changing. I think now because of coronavirus as well, people are on the edge all the time because of this unknown of what's going on, if and when things are going to go back to normal, what normal looks like, even what normal looks like today, nobody knows. So I think people are really tense. And
I don't know if it's ever going to be the way it was.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. And you know what? Why should we assume that it is? We learn so many things, Annie, about presence. Be fucking present, man. This is the way it is. You know, it's not the way it was, and we don't know what's going to be. This is exactly the way it is supposed to be right now. So how are we going to make this the best day ever? How are we going to take this circumstance of right now and make it work for us? You know, be in alignment with it and not struggling to go to the past or make it look like the past, not try to figure out what it's going to be in the future. Who knows? Right.
Live in the now. Yeah, I think that's a good point. So I think what I got to do is, I think I'm going to do a harmful letter. And for those that don't know, harmful letter is when you write everything that you feel, and you can use extremely colorful language if you want to. Between you, your hand, the paper, and the one above, whatever you want to call it, and go to town. And first do the anger bit and let it all out, then go out and burn it, and then just release it. Because I sure do not want to be angry, and I sure don't want to have a conversation that is run by emotion, because I know that when my emotion is high, I literally have zero intelligence. Mm-hmm. So lucky our next get together with this group is next week, because if it was tonight, I wouldn't be in a good spot. By next week, I'll be fine because there's a lot of water that's going to go under the bridge. But just in this moment, I wanted to share this again. I don't want it to be doom and gloom, but I just want people to know that everybody, whether you are Tony Robbins, whether you are Mindy Stern, Annie Callis, the CEO of a company, we are human beings, first and foremost, before we do what we do, because what we do is not who we are.
Very profound statement.
Yeah, we react, emotions get triggered, But it's our responsibility, it's your responsibility, if you have that, to go internal and introspective and start figuring out, oh, what's happening, where's this coming from, you know. So that's kind of probably about it, what I wanted to share. And if anybody has any questions, I think it's going to be great if you put in a comments box below, because we want to also know, how do you guys deal with these sorts of situations? How
deal with life.
Yeah, if you have any tricks up your sleeve, how do you overcome them? Because the thing is, we don't want to make it a band-aid fix. We want to understand how can you go internal and figure it out, because I know that I am responsible for the situation in some shape or form, but I haven't been able to get to the bottom of it to figure out, where am I responsible? I can think of a few things, and I think quite a bit of the responsibility is mine, but first I need to deal with the emotion and get down to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not, I'm not taking full responsibility, but I want to make sure that I take mine, where I showed up a particular way, I said a particular thing, and I really should have probably known better as a business person. I looked at it differently, and at least there's a realization that it's actually not the type of group that I thought it was, and maybe I took it for granted. They didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at all the variables.
Yeah.
But right now I'm sitting in my pissed off thing.
Yeah. You know what helps me, Annie? I get it. I get pissed off too, a lot. But you know what helps me in rather quickly?
Yeah.
Is we learn it also when we're training. That's one of the important things, is acknowledgement. Something has happened, and I think that's the first step also of taking responsibility. And if you talk about, like, I think the 12 steps when you're getting out of addiction, the first thing is, awareness, take responsibility, say that this is what it is. And I think that acknowledgement that an event happened, something happened. My friends said this, I did this is what happened, and she is hurt, and now we have a communication problem.
Mm-hmm.
It takes it, actually for me, I don't know how it would work for you. I never analyzed it. It's just something that's coming up while we're thinking, but it takes away a lot of the emotion. Yeah. Because it's just an objective thing that happened. It happened. Okay. Now that it happened, and this is how I feel, and this is how she feels, this is valid and that's valid. Now what do I do? It sounds easy, but yeah, just acknowledge this is it. And that's the first step of taking responsibility. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
Period.
Sounds good. I think we got to the end, haven't we? I'm good. I'm going to finish my tea. I've got this gorgeous candle burning here today. Nice. And I'm just like enjoying the flickering of it. And I think I'm just going to have a bath tonight and spoil myself. And I've actually didn't really do much today other than a couple of phone calls and chill out. So I think it's like, give yourself permission to be. And you want to be pissed off, be pissed off.
Be pissed off, and cry. And
just, yeah. Be careful how long you are in it.
Yeah. Don't become a victim, but I spent a couple of days over the last week while, binging on Netflix, I must admit.
Any good movies?
Oh God. I'm gonna share some secrets, talk about vulnerability. I have some go-to movies, some go-to movies. When I am down and I need a little bit of love, I watch dun 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 dun. You ready?
The Notebook.
Prejudice is my go-to movie.
Is it?
Yeah, it's my melancholy, love, sweet, kindness. That's my go-to movie with Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, and it's just very beautiful in my eyes.
Do you cry every time?
Every single time.
Mine is The Notebook.
Oh.
When she gets in the car and goes to leave him, and then he says to her, you know, you can run away or you can stay or whatever he says. Oh, and I'm sitting there. I'm on a couch with the cover, and I've got the popcorn sitting, I've got the tea sitting, I've got the tissues going on. That is like the best quote ever. Like, I know what's going to happen at the end, right? But I'm like, oh, without fail.
So that's like my go-to thing. It's my melancholy, you know, just vegetate and cry movie. You know, it's easier to cry over a movie than just to sit there and cry because my life sucks at the moment. You know.
I tell you, I want to share a quick story, and this, I think we're going to finish on a high here. So isn't it funny how things happen? All right. So, oh gosh, this is like 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, my heart gets broken like into billion pieces. Like, it's the end of the world, right? So I have a broken marriage, fall in love, big time. You know, they always say is that the rebound love is more painful than the marriage that breaks down. And it's just over like that. So for months and months, I keep functioning, but there is just this in my chest. So I call Blair, right? And we're talking about business. Blair is our mentor, and I just go to him. Hey, I need to ask you something. He's like, what? I said, it's personal. He said, yeah. I said, well, you know, like back in the day when, you know, like when you broke up with your wife and your fiance and stuff like that, you know, how did you deal with the pain? I mean, how long did it take you to get over it, right? I mean, this is my mentor who has taught me so many amazing things. And he goes, well, it takes time, and I did this and that. He goes, let me give you a tip. I go, yeah. He said, all right, so when you feel that pain, he goes, grab it with your hand and take it out of your chest and put it to the side. So I'm sitting there going, what? Okay, all right. So I'm like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm going, yeah, okay. He said, and then grab your notebook and write everything about that one emotion. So clearly I know how to do these, you know, harmful letters and journaling and all of that, but I'm going, okay. So this one, it's a Saturday afternoon, and I'm going to lock myself away. I put candles everywhere around the house. And I said, I'm going to watch The Notebook. I haven't watched The Notebook for a while, so it was like, okay, there's bits I remember, bits I don't remember. So I'm really engrossed in the movie, and then it gets to the certain bits and pieces, and I am howling, right? And then at the end, you know what happens at the end, and I'm like, oh, this is like the best love story ever. And I am just like literally, you know, like somebody was sitting there with 2 buckets, you know. And I'm sitting there going, I guess this is the moment when I need to take it out and put it to the left. I go, where the hell is my notebook? Fuck, I can't find my notebook, right? So I'm running around the house. I get my notebook. I go, hang on. I can't take the emotion out, but stay with it. So I watch the ending again just to turn it on again, right? Right? And then I sat down and I go, okay, Blair, let me see. So I sat down and I literally did this, and I put my hand on my heart and I said, okay, pain, come out. And I literally put it to the side, and I could feel it sitting there. I know. I was like, whoa. And I grabbed my notebook and I started writing. Wow. And I wrote everything that I could about my pain. I was never the same after that.
Oh my God, I got chills. Oh my God.
And it was a turning point for me in a healing in relation to this situation. and I healed myself from it.
Wow.
It was amazing. And it's interesting, I haven't done it since because I haven't felt that. But it's a great process to have, but you got to really believe that it works.
Yeah.
So this is like the placebo effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you believe it will, it will.
Sure.
Right? But I so trust in Blair because Blair is the biggest emotional person, and he's forever processing his own emotions. I think that's why I relate to him, because I'm so much like him when it comes to, like we just blow. And he's kind, I'm kind, and so I relate very much to him, right? So if he said to do that, I'm going, there's got to be some truth in it. So I really believed it, and I literally felt putting that to the side. And it's really interesting. I don't know, have you ever experienced that you have one thought and then you've got another one here?
No.
I've got two thoughts going at the moment. First is my story. The next thing is, how am I relating this to what is happening to me right now, today?
Wow.
Right? So as I was doing this, I'm going, okay, I need to put this to the side. I need to put them to the side, and I need to write about it. Right? So I can release myself. So for some people, this might be voodoo, but some people might say, oh, I get it. So, but it was so powerful. And that was the turning point. And I think maybe it might not even be that I put my thing to the side. It was the moment of decision that I have to deal with this right now, because I was sick and tired of being in pain.
Wow.
And
amazing.
I was sick and tired of blaming the person, because he had his reasons, which were very valid, not in line with what I would have done, but it's the best that I know that he could do in that moment with whatever knowledge he had. So I wanted to remove which is what we normally do with people that we love. It's you. It's no, it's me. I have to figure out a way to forgive myself and to get my own freedom. Because that person is that person, and I can't force them to change. I can't force them to do what they need to do. Not my ex-husband, not my ex-boyfriend, not this group of people. Everybody's pretty nice person, but they got their stories going. All I can do is to see how can I protect myself from taking on other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you pretty much know what I mean.
Exactly.
We are taking the people's stuff, so we have enough of our own to deal with, let alone take somebody else. So anyway, that was a good story.
Excellent. So
and after that, I watched. Yeah, and after that, I watched Fast and the Furious 5. So it finished on a high, absolute high. But
fantastic.
It was really good.
Great call today, Annie. Thank you so much for sharing and for the vulnerability and the idea, and your just brilliance. Your energy is fantastic. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in, for listening, to being with us, for learning with us, and for being who you are. You are perfect.
I thank you very much for the warrior. I forgot about the warrior cards. I've got the sheet, so I need to go and find it.
I'm gonna copy it for you, send you on WhatsApp, both sides of my warrior.
Okay. Take a photo and send it to me so I have it on my phone.
Love you all.
And I don't have the trainer either, or Master Your Mind. I don't have any of those.
I don't have Master Your Mind. What's Master Your Mind?
That was a John Kehoe one.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that. Anyway, bye guys. See you later. Love you.
Bye.